Hey there, fight friends. We are lucky today to have one of the true veterans of the sport in Canadian mixed martial arts, the gentleman himself, Josh Hill. Josh, thanks for speaking with us.
Anytime, buddy. Good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see you too, always. It seems like I'm seeing you more and more these days. It's not just, it's gone to the days where you were, air quotes, just a fighter. You've been spreading and expanding your wings for the past little while now. It's like, I think it's a really smart thing. No offense, you're getting to be a little bit older. You're still fighting as much as you can, but those days are going to end eventually for everybody. So you moved on to commentating for BTC. Now you're not an agent.
Matchmaker.
You fight. Yeah, well, you're the matchmaker too. I was going to say manager. You're a fight manager, but you're also now the matchmaker, one of the matchmakers for
Right.
BTC. So, man, it just sounds like it's a great thing for you. You're getting your toes dipped into so many pieces of the pie.
Yeah, yeah, man. Why not? It's like you said, I'm getting close to the end, so it keeps me involved in the sport, and it's stuff I enjoy, right? And it gives me something else to do, and yeah, I like managing guys, getting them fights, and trying to get them opportunities. The matchmaking, it just I wasn't expecting that. It just kind of an offer that came, and
Hmm.
at first I was like, no, I didn't want to do it solely just because it's a lot of work and a lot of headaches, and I just don't have that time right now. But as
Sure.
part of a team, I said, yeah, I would do that, because it kind of spreads a little bit more, and it gives us more resources and stuff like that. So I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, man, I just kind of engaging into what's gonna keep me in the sport afterwards.
It's a really smart thing to do. And of course, you've got your own gym as well, Vision Quest.
Yeah, yeah. So that on top of it too, yeah, my gym. We do actually have some amateur guys that are starting to fight now, but mostly a recreational gym. Yeah, but still, I get in there and I'm coaching like at least once a week, so it's fun.
Hmm. Now, most fighters, they start off as a not a fighter. They start off, they go to a gym, they maybe take a kickboxing class or a jiu-jitsu class or something like that. And pretty soon they're offered a fight. And so they have an amateur fight, then they have a professional fight. Some of them stop there. At what point was it ever that you thought to yourself, holy moly, you know what? I can actually make a living just with fighting in different capacities.
Yeah, mine was a bit different. It was I didn't ever like I didn't have a. It wasn't like it is now where people like they see UFC when they're young and they start training at 7 and they're going to be fighters. It was like I started training just for fun when I was about 20. And it was just something to do after like hockey was almost coming to an end, junior hockey. And then, yeah, so I didn't have any amateur fights. I did a handful of jiu-jitsu tournaments. Um, and that was the extent of my combative experience. And then I got offered my first pro fight, 2 weeks notice. And I was just like, okay, let's try, let's do this. And that's when I was like, oh, like this is awesome, and I was hooked ever since. And then I kept, getting win and win and win, and I was like, oh, like I want to make a run at this. And back then it was like the WC was for the little guys. That was like kind of like the goal and the main spot I wanted to be and fight those guys. So yeah, that was kind of when I said, let's try to make a run at this for a career.
And what a career you've had, man. You've pretty much fought everybody and you've fought everywhere. You must, when you look back on your career so far, I mean, it's not over yet, but you just must be amazed at how many opportunities you've had and the things you've got to see and the people you've got to meet.
Yeah, yeah, that's the coolest part, man. I made a lot of friends, a lot of connections. I got people all over the world that either friends or acquaintances that I can always, reach out to and, have connections at. And yeah, I got to go to some cool places. Me and Lyndon were just talking about that today. I've been in Russia and Romania, Slovakia. This one is going to be in Montenegro. The next one, been to Brazil and Thailand and just all over, all over Canada, all over Vegas, all over US. So yeah, man, it's been super cool. Yeah, that's the best part of this journey, I think, is just the meeting all these people
Hmm.
and to getting to do really cool shit.
Now, unfortunately, you were one of the fighters who was caught up in the whole global fight league mess. Just talk about your experience with that at the end of it. And you must be disappointed, but was there ever any actual official resolution? Did they ever call you and say, hey, Josh, you know what? This actually for sure is not going to happen?
No, well, yes, I shouldn't say not, no, but it sucked, man, for sure. It was like, Darren is a friend of mine too, and Darren Owen,
Mhm.
and I've always liked Darren. He's always been great, and I just think things were kind of put into or said before they're actually finalized, and then unfortunately, his backer just kind of pulls shoot on him, and kind of that's what kerplunked the whole the organization.
Yeah.
Um, it sucks, man. A lot of fighters were we left other opportunities to do it just because like
Hmm.
it was a very cool concept. I'm not gonna lie. It was I was stoked to be on a team with all like a lot of my buddies, and get to do that and be something different. And the pay they're offering was awesome. So even for me as like I left Octagon, like I only had one fight there, and I
Uh,
asked if I could be released to fight here, this opportunity, just because it was, the pay was so much more, and it was obviously closer to home. But yeah, then it didn't work out for me, obviously. But I know other fighters that turned down stuff too, or they left things, or they put in a lot of time in training camp, and all of a sudden
mhm.
it's all that money and time spent, and then you get nothing for it. So yeah, man, it sucked. You know, I was expecting them to, if they weren't going to succeed, I was expecting at least to give me like one season. Like, we'll try this, and at the end of the season, they lost
Sure.
a lot of money. It didn't work. Then I could see it folding. But yeah, I wasn't expecting it to fold before I even got started.
Yeah, it was such a shame because you were, well, as we mentioned, you're just one of many fighters who got roiled up in that. And like you mentioned, it's a missed opportunities. There was a, of course, there's the UFC, and then there's everybody else sort of vying for the UFC spot. But there's some prime opportunities for fighters. Bellator, as you well know, PFL. There's other great organizations around the world, and a lot of these fighters, including yourself, you had opportunities to go elsewhere and fight elsewhere, but now that was put on hold for such a long time. It's for any fighter, let alone somebody who's a little bit older, that time wasted. It's something you can't put a money value on, is it?
Yeah, 100%, man. I got, shelved for really like 6, 8 months where I was healthy, ready to go. And, I signed on to do that. And then, yeah, it just cost that amount of time in your career, right? That
Mm-hmm.
could have been a fight or two in that time. So yeah, that's a piss off for sure. It's not like I'm 25 years old and I got all this time left, I'm trying to get these fights in while we can. And, yeah, it's very unfortunate, man.
Now, when you say you're trying to get these fights in, I'm curious what that means. So, for somebody like you, you're still extremely skilled. Uh, you're going to beat most of the fighters you're gonna face. So I'm curious, like, do you still want to have a run at a big promotion? Do you want to get to the UFC, or is it the point now where like this weekend you're getting brought in to face an undefeated guy, the local guy, because you've got that name recognition, you've got the experience? Is that something you're going to be going to now, or do you still want to make a push?
No, I'm not. I'm not pushing for like a UFC. I'm too old for that, man. You know what I mean? Not that I'm saying I can't compete there. 100%, I think I can. It's just they're not going to sign a
Mhm.
guy that's 39 years old. You know what I mean? Then that's already had
Yeah.
30 fights. Um, and yeah, so that's not my goal at all. My goal is to fight, as many times as I can, and before I'm 40, and get to do cool shit. Cool experiences. Obviously, hopefully, the bigger paydays, as big as I can get. And then yeah, kind of squeeze the juices out of this while I can, before it's too late. I said I don't want to be a guy that's fighting in my 40s, unless it's some crazy big opportunity where it's, like big money or something like that, or but yeah, I just yeah, it's more so like I fight for three reasons. I always said it's one because I love doing it, two to get paid, and then three to be able to experience cool things, like
Hmm.
trips around the world, or like my last one we got to go to Slovakia, check out Austria, and things like that, and Russia we did that, and so those are things that drive me, and get to do something that you probably wouldn't regularly do. So yeah, that's kind of my goal now for the next year.
Yeah, it's like you're reading my mind. I was going to ask you what really pushes you because every fighter is different. You say you've got three reasons, but there's got to be something like deep within you that just makes you want to get in there and compete. I mean, the competition's part of it, I'm sure, but fighting's not an easy thing to do, man. It's not like you can go onto an ice rink or a football field and you're one of 10 guys or 11 guys or whatever it is. When that door closes and you're one of three people in there, there's the referee, you, and the guy who's trying to hurt you.
Mhm.
What is it about that experience that you thrive on?
Well, it's the highest high for sure. And that's something that I'll always chase, even when I'm done. And I guess the trick is trying to find something else to supplement that. Um, I don't think there really is. There's other things that I've experienced that are awesome. I love, but yeah, like the high of winning a fight is, man, it's crazy, and
Mm,
that's why guys probably stay around too long too, right? Because they're just trying to keep that going. But yeah, and I feel I'm still able. You know, I always said if
yeah.
I'm in the gym and I'm starting to get beat up all the time by these younger guys, and then I know for sure that it's past me. You know what I mean? And I just can't do it anymore. But I still feel good. You know, I'm still fast. My reaction time's still there. I'm still super athletic. I'm stronger than ever, to be honest. As I got like,
Hmm.
dad strength
Old
now.
man strength. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, man, I still feel I can do it. So I don't want to, in another 5, 6, 7 years and be like, oh, I could have done it for a little bit longer. I kind of pulled shoot too early. So I don't know. I
Yeah.
just want to maximize my time while I can.
I'm not sure if you got a chance to see my interview with Tim Tamaki that I did this week. He's fighting at the Unified card tonight. He's 42 years old, and his one of his quotes to me, he said, "Man, I'm in the prime of my life." And looking at him, I believe he believes it, and I believe he's really, you know, he's there. So it's not like things are evolving, and timelines get shifted to the right a lot. So like it used to be, your prime was maybe 30, 32, 33. But as technologies advance and recovery and, you just being aware of your body and resting and not killing yourself. I mean, you're not going and doing any kind of like a shoot box, sparring where you're getting knocked out every day.
Right.
You take care of your body. And as long as you do that and you maintain it, there's no reason why you can't stay active and be competitive for a lot longer.
That's true. Yeah, man. You're seeing guys in all sports, continue on later in life for sure, with all the reasons you said. So, yeah. I just it's like, yeah, it's like tough because I do want to fight obviously I mean, all of us want to do it forever if we could, but but I don't want to push it too far. So it's kind of like that balance point of like when is a good time to call it. You don't want to do it too early where you feel like you had some good years left where you could have done some more shit or made some more money, but then you don't want to look back and be like, oh, I shouldn't have. Those last few, I shouldn't have been in the cage. You know what I mean? So it's kind of
Yeah,
hard to
yeah.
find that balance.
I think for something like that, it's important to have good people around you who will
Yeah.
tell you the truth and be honest with you. You can't just have
I
yes men.
I think like for me personally, one factor is why I haven't taken a lot of damage in my career. Um,
Hmm.
I'm pretty defensively sound in there, and like I'm not a guy that just goes and just swings for the fences and kind of puts his chin out there and or just relies on his chin as his first line of defense. That's definitely not me. So I think that has prolonged my career and been able to keep me going longer. And knock on wood, I haven't taken much brain damage. So yeah, that's a big factor.
Let's move on to this upcoming weekend. You are fighting a guy named Miljan Dragovic at the Fight Nation Championship in Podgorica, Montenegro. How did this fight come about?
My manager, Brian Butler, Sucker Punch. I fought in November 8th, I think it was, and for BTC. Got to fight back in my hometown, first
Hmm.
time in 10 years plus, and it was awesome. It was really really fun. Got the win there, and then literally within, I don't know, a few days after, he's like, I got this opportunity probably in December. And I was just like, wow, that's a quick turnaround. Wasn't
Yeah.
expecting that. And then, yeah, he said, got this title fight, December 20th. Do you want to take it? And I'm just like, yeah, and found out where it was. And obviously a very cool opportunity. It looks like they put on an amazing show. Um,
Hmm.
and yeah, a chance to, yeah, I'm fighting kind of like me 10 plus years ago, this up and comer
Hmm.
that's undefeated. And he's trying to fight a vet has, a decent name, and he's going to try to get a win over me. Right. So, it's a good challenge, I think he's good from what I watched. He looks pretty good. I just I don't think he's fought anybody near my level yet. So it'll be a big test for him for sure.
Who's going to be going with you? Is it Lyndon? Anybody else?
Lyndon and my old man. Yeah, my dad's
Oh,
making the
wow.
trip too. Yeah, so I'll have him there for the the moral support, and then obviously Lyndon there as my coach, so it'll be good.
Has your dad joined you before to any fights? Traveling?
Yeah, he has. He's actually been in my corner. I think two other fights. I think. Yeah. I think two other fights. So yeah, he's experienced it now, so he kind of knows what to expect. So he's
Yeah.
he's all right.
Take a second. We mentioned Lyndon, of course, Lyndon Whitlock. He's the head coach at Aegis MMA. Your head coach. He's been around the game for a long time too. I've actually, I remember I actually watched him fight in person a few times, like 15, 20 years ago or something like that. He's since moved on to being one of the top trainers in Canada, known as being a very cerebral trainer, very smart. He game plans extremely well. What's it like having a guy like him in your corner?
Yeah, it's great. He's not only that all those things you said, but he's also been like one of my best friends since grade 5. We've been friends forever. So I think that's probably more of the reason why. It's just he knows me so well. We know each other so well. We kind of know our everything, our tendencies, the way we react to things, how we're feeling, all those things. And then he knows my game, how I fight, all these type of things. So yeah, it's been great. He was my first training partner, and we started training together, started fighting together. And then, he retired and kind of took over a coach's role. So, who better to have kind of help me with my career still than him, right? So it's been great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think every fighter needs a Lyndon.
Yeah, yeah, and then he's an asshole. You know what I mean? I mean,
I do know what you mean, but in a good
yeah,
way.
yeah, no, yeah, for sure.
He's an asshole, but he's your asshole.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and he'll tell you straight up, what's real, and even if you don't want to hear it, so that's good. You need that in a coach for sure.
That's the most important. I don't know if it's the most important, but it's definitely a piece of the puzzle. You need to have somebody who's going to be real with you, because you can't just have people telling you how great you are all the time, because you're going to get your ass kicked in the cage.
Yeah, I agree. And yeah, if I'm going out there and if we're down, if we're losing, like, I need to be told, like, we're down. We need to win this. We need to finish. We need, not just, oh, you're doing good. It's, keep going. Keep your hands up and your chin down. Like, I don't need a cheerleader. I want somebody to, be real with
Yeah.
me, right?
All right, Josh. I know you're getting ready to take off to Europe, and you've got a sick kid at home, so I appreciate you taking the time. Is there anything that we didn't talk about you think that we should have?
Oh man, shoot, I don't know. I'll probably think of something right when we sign off here, but I don't know, man. Just yeah,
Is there
there's
anyone you'd like to thank?
I'll just this again. I'll think of somebody that I'll leave somebody out. So everybody that's my coaches, my gyms, training partners, my management, family, sponsors, everybody that's been on board with me and supportive. My fight in Hamilton, it was like I was saying, it's like I wanted to make it like it was 2012 again, and I felt like it was. When I walked out, everybody, all like old high school buddies came out, old training partners, friends, family, and it felt like that again. So that was really really cool. And if I had finished my career like that, that would have been great. But I felt good in the cage. I felt comfortable, calm. I felt my conditioning felt great. So I know I still got some left. So yeah, I'm excited to get back in there and unleash this while I can.
That's awesome. Well, Josh, you're still a beast. I'm excited for you. Excited for your upcoming fight in Montenegro. Congratulations on everything. Thanks again for taking the time to speak with us, and we'll sign off now.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
All right, take care, Josh. There you go, fight friends. Josh the Gentleman Hill fighting this weekend, or sorry, next weekend in Montenegro.